Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with freebets.com, Empire Fight Store and Forged Irish Stout. Delighted to be joined here in probably the nicest hotel I've ever seen in my life. Mr. Frank Warren, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Charlie Parsons. Second day running, eh? What's going on, mate?
I know.
People are talk.
I know.
So how are we?
All good, thank you. Thank you for having me. Just firstly here in Riyadh, very nice place.
Yes, it's a lovely city. I mean, it's quite. It's my second time here, and I was so surprised the first time. You know how lovely it is, and how friendly the people are. How unbelievably clean it is. Puts our London to shame. But yeah, it's good stuff. The weather's nice, and I'm looking forward to a fantastic fight card on Saturday night. Day of Reckoning.
Day of Reckoning it is, and what a big one it is meant to be. I suppose just firstly, let's go straight into it. The two main events, Anthony Joshua versus Otto Wallin. I don't think AJ's the biggest Dev Sahni fan in the world. Did you see that little bit yesterday? He was like it with all the media, in fairness.
Well, I don't always be miserable sod towards Dev. I mean, Dev's doing a job. He's doing what you're doing. I mean, sometimes we don't like what people say, but, you know, that's life. But anyway, Dev's he's working out here. And I don't know, as I say, what the problem is. I will look back at it, but, you know, at the end of the day, who cares? Just get on with it and just move forward.
He was sort of quite... didn't give much away to a lot of the media. On Monday he did his rounds and was a little bit more vocal. Yesterday, sort of one-word answers to everyone. Is that just fight mode? I mean, what do you put it down?
Fight week. I mean, I don't know. I've never been round in fight week, so I've got no idea what type of person that is. All boxers are different. Some are relaxed and so forth. Some get really wound up, uptight. You know, Tyson's a totally different character fight week. But as I say, everybody's different.
Otto Wallin has been speaking a surprisingly good game in the whole build-up. He said that AJ's mentally weak and that he's sort of on the decline. What do you make of that? Do you think he's trying to get under his skin?
Of course he is. I mean, that's what all fighters do. They all play games. They all try and get any edge they can, whether it's a mental edge or physical, whatever it may be. That's the name of the game. But, you know, Wallin, you know, he's going to be a tough competitor. There's no doubt about that. He's coming to fight, and he must fancy his chances. And is AJ on the decline? Well, he's lost what? Is it 3 of his last 5 fights?
Yeah.
And he's no longer champion. So he spots that, and he sees that he has an opportunity. AJ can't afford to fall over in this fight. For him, this is actually a make or break fight. If he gets beat by Oscar Wallin, then I don't know where he sits in the heavyweight division. Otto
made some comments about Ben Davison and basically said, like, I don't know why he's gone with Ben Davison and how Ben got sacked after the Tyson Fury fight and what does that mean, because then Tyson went on to go and knock out Deontay Wilder twice. Is that the sort of same, the prodding, the jibing?
Listen, everybody has their reasons for doing it. You know, the fighter trainer relationship's the closest relationship. They're working together in the most stressful of moments, both in and outside the ring. So it has to gel. They have to gel. They have to work together, and they have to be comfortable with each other. And if they have got that relationship, and it's a good relationship, that bodes well for any fighter. So, you know, obviously AJ seems to be comfortable with Ben. Ben does a very good job. He's a good trainer, young guy coming through, and he's made a name for himself and still considering making a name for himself. So we'll see. The proof will be in the pudding on Saturday.
Deontay Wilder, someone who's in high spirits. Yesterday I saw how many bomb squads did he drop on the red carpet? Certainly a lot. Probably the only man ballsy enough to get away with screaming that like he was. But in good spirits and enjoying it. He's not been massively active. A big opportunity for him come Saturday against Joseph Parker.
Yeah, he's one fight in 2 years after his 3 fights, his trilogy, I should say, with Tyson, which he didn't win any of them. And he did, obviously, he'd done a job on Hellenius when he came back and knocked him over. But this won't be an easy walk in the park for him. I mean, Joe Parker's not the sort of guy who just shows up to make up the numbers. He's coming to fight, and he sees it as an opportunity for himself. He trains all the time, most of the time with Tyson. So Tyson would be passing some tips on to him. So it's going to be quite an intriguing and interesting situation. You know, for both AJ and for Deontay, these are career-defining fights, and I'm sure they won't overlook them, and they can't overlook them. These are big obstacles for them to overcome.
I asked Joe what advice he'd had from Tyson Fury in the build-up to this fight, and it was simple, one-sentence answer: do not get clipped in 36 minutes. It really is as simple as that with Wilder.
Well, it is. It is. I mean, he's dangerous at any time, as we know, and Tyson knows better than anybody. He can speak from experience. That is great advice. For anyone who fights him, that's great advice.
This is sort of being a bit cheeky. Is the Anthony Joshua-Deontay Wilder fight already signed ahead, providing that they both come through their challenges Saturday?
It is cheeky.
Is that a sort of no comment?
That was an answer. You said, is it cheeky? I said, it's cheeky.
Is it signed?
It's cheeky.
Okay, fair enough, Frank. Anthony Joshua yesterday said...
what did he say?
Well, he said a lot of things. Well, actually, he didn't say loads of things.
Cheeky?
He didn't say I was cheeky, no. He said that he was happy that the two of you, Eddie Hearn and yourself, were working together, and that for all the big occasions it was necessary. What do you make of that?
Well, it's nice to hear that. I mean, look, the proof's in the pudding. We've got a great event on here. In this Riyadh season, it's been fabulous. Everything that's happened around the season, especially with Tyson opening it up his fight against Ngannou. Am I pronouncing that right? Because everybody keeps having a pop at me. Apparently, I'm pronouncing it wrong. Apologies if I am. But it's been, it's good. It's good for all of us. Good for boxing. Good for the game. And hopefully, we can carry on making some big fights together.
Jarrell Miller. That's sort of the only person that people are ever like, oh, why is he on the card? And there are his critics. Obviously, we know he served the ban prior, and there was a lot of failed tests in the build-up to that Anthony Joshua fight. They've had their spats. I know I asked you a little bit about that yesterday. Just on your side of things, why is Jarrell Miller on the card? Obviously, there is that sort of backlash. I know he's a great salesman, but people in boxing, they don't forget.
I'm not policing the sport. That's not my job. I promote fights, and I promote fights with guys who are licensed. If they're unlicensed and the commissions find them unfit to box, then obviously we won't even approach them or bother to use them, especially for failing drug tests and so forth. But he is licensed and has served his sentence, gone through the process. He was a drugs cheat, got caught, and now he's clean. At least he has been in all the tests he's had leading up to this fight, and I hope he will continue to do that in his future career. He's fighting my man. It's a tough fight for Daniel, but it's a fight that Daniel needs at this stage of his career. And as regarding him, you know, I genuinely think that that Miller will provide a good test for him, and you know, I mean, you can. Miller's done what Conor Benn hasn't done. He's gone before the commission, had a hearing, and on the strength of that was banned from boxing. Was given a punishment, and he served the punishment. And that's what life should be about. It's like you go to prison, you do something wrong, you go to prison, you come out and you've wiped the slate clean. That's how life's supposed to be. If he does it again, then I'm sure he'd get a massive ban, probably be out of sport forever. But that's where we are, that's what's happened, and that's why he's on the card.
Daniel Dubois, now you'll probably be a better person to sort of judge his character this week, but he just, like, when I interviewed him, it's the best I personally think I've ever seen him come across, certainly from speaking to him myself. We know he's never going to be stood there having the blazing rows with people like Jarrell Miller. It's just not him. However, I've seen a little clip yesterday. They're both doing their interviews. Jarrell's standing there calling him all sorts, and he's going, come on, boy. Like, from your side, what you're seeing, he seems to bang up for this. He almost seems to be, I said to him, like, are you enjoying the media side a little bit more? He said a little bit. Like, he seemed more up for it than before.
Well, I hope that's the case, but he's going to have to be up for it. I mean, the bottom line of it, he will have to be right on the money for this fight, because again, for him, it's a career-defining fight. It's a day of reckoning for him. You know, a lot of people, there's a lot of doubters out there regarding him. He has all the attributes to be world heavyweight champion. A lot of people doubt his heart or his desire, and we will see. It's up to him. Everything is up to him on Saturday night.
He said that a win here gets him back in contention, back in the mix. He wants an Oleksandr Usyk rematch. Is that realistic?
Well, he was doing. I thought he'd done well. I thought he gave Usyk. I was reading somewhere they said Chisora gave Usyk his hardest fight. I don't think that's the case at all. I think Daniel did, and the proof was in the pudding. I mean, he caught him with a tremendous body shot and hurt him, and really hurt him to the body. And we all know what happened in the fight and the long delay in that. But look, Daniel's been in there. He's fought at the top. He's been at the top, fought there. He's now got to show that he deserves to be back in there, to get that seat, as I keep banging on about that seat at the table. And you can only do that by your performances in the ring, and more importantly, wanting it.
On sort of this show, and we've seen sort of cross cooperation with promoters like never before. Obviously, Eddie, we believe, due in today. He said the competitive edge will always be there. Is it as spiteful as it's always been, or do you think that this is sort of where, obviously there's a lot of money and there's a lot of opportunity. Does that squash things? I mean, on your side, where are you at with it all?
I've always said, I think I even said a few years ago, I'd like to sit down and make some fights. And I think we drew up a list of fighters that we said at the time would be great to make the matches. Didn't happen. It's happening now. So that's great. You know, listen, we ain't getting married or anything. And my son George is doing most of the work anyway. I mean, it's not me, it's George who's done most of the work with this show. And the fact of the matter is, if we can make fights that suit us, and I'm sure that they suit him, then they'll be made. There is a platform now to make them happen. It's here in Saudi Arabia. Riyadh season is going to be a massive event in the boxing calendar now. It's there. This is going to be a regular situation. Some big fights on a regular occurrence because we've got a leader in His Excellency who is a massive, massive boxing fan and is enabling us to make some of these things happen. And certainly, as far as the fans are concerned, he's delivering what the fans want to see and helping us make these fights that the fans want to see. You know why? Because he's a fan. He's a massive boxing fan. And that's great for the game. So yeah, we'll continue working on shows together. We'll do that. You know, we'll see what happens with AJ and Wilder this weekend and where that goes. Hopefully, everybody will get out of it what they want. But you know what? As I say, there's two challengers in there who obviously have a lot of self-belief and feel that they can upset the apple cart, and we'll see.
You talk about His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. The promos now, Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, everyone said, wow, the best we've ever seen. They're now saying that about the day of reckoning. We're almost thinking, how is it going to get better for February? How is it going to potentially get better for March? On the filming day itself, obviously yourself in the van or the car, or whatever it was with Deontay Wilder, what was that like? A bit of an acting debut?
No, I've done lots of stuff over the years. No, of course it was. Yeah, it was good fun. I took my grandkids along. A couple of my grandkids went along to it, George's son and daughter, and they loved it. You know, the makeup and everything, and seeing the old geezer make an idiot of himself. It was all good fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And then we went off to see. It was a great day actually. Went there and then went off to the Arsenal and watched them win. So it was a fabulous day out for us.
Sounds like it indeed. Let's talk a little bit about Tyson Fury. Sparring and preparation underway for the Oleksandr Usyk camp. We saw yesterday pictures of him sparring with.
He looks well, doesn't he? Tyson looks well.
Sparring yesterday, I believe, with Thomas Carty and Moses Atauma. We know how well you speak of Moses Atauma. A lot of people saying great sparring. He's clearly in it, obviously, before Christmas, ready, up for this one. I know he sort of squashed everything before and said that it wasn't an issue that he wasn't up for Ngannou, but we expect to see a much better Tyson Fury for the Oleksandr Usyk fight.
I think you will, because you know, he knows Usyk. There's a lot of footage of him. You can look at him. You can see, you know, you can actually see. You've seen him in action, both live and video footage, so you know what you're preparing for. That works the other way, by the way, for Usyk. So yeah, he knows what he's stepping into. He knows what he's got to do, and I'm quite sure at the end of the day we're going to get a cracking fight out of that.
Tyson Fury at the press conference, always very vocal, and he always says he doesn't care what people have to say, especially when it comes to negativity. But do you think silently, as sort of almost any human would want, he will want to sort of prove the critics and the doubters wrong going into that fight in February?
Look, Tyson Fury, in my opinion, and that's my opinion, is the best heavyweight on the planet. And I think he will confirm that in February, and once that's done, I don't think anybody can say any different. If he wins the fight, he's the best heavyweight out there. He's beaten the best heavyweight of his generation, which was Klitschko. He went and done that in the other guy's backyard. He did the same thing with Deontay Wilder, who was, I think it was 6 years he was world champion, statistically the hardest punching heavyweight in the world for a long, long time. Was it 50 odd years, whatever it was. 3 times went there, a draw and 2 wins, and really it was 3 wins as far as I was concerned. But he went out there, gained the other guy's backyard and done what he had to do. And he's now fighting a guy who up until, maybe even now, I'm not sure, but certainly up until the fight with Daniel, was ranked number 1 in the Boxing News as the best heavyweight in the world, for what that rating's worth. And by a lot of people who also thought that he was, that think he is the best heavyweight out there. So the winner, whoever wins that fight, and I believe it will be Tyson, will be the best heavyweight in the world. And if Tyson does it, that makes him the best heavyweight of his generation by far.
John Fury, he came out and sort of squashed the claims that he said that Tyson Fury's on the decline, but did say that the whole training camp was a circus and that Sugar Hill Stewart isn't the man that he would choose. What do you make of those comments? Look,
Tyson's the guy getting in the ring. His dad obviously has got his views. He's entitled. Everybody's got a view. Everybody. He's his dad, and obviously his dad cares about him. But at the end of the day, Tyson's getting in the ring, and it's his decision who he has to train him.
Just lastly from me, obviously cross pay-per-view between DAZN and TNT Sports. How important was it for you, obviously for your schedule, to have it on TNT, but also globally on DAZN? I suppose more of broadcasters saying that they're really happy, they want to be cooperating. It seems like we're almost in a new era of boxing.
Well, there you are. It's the era of cooperation. Everybody's cooperating at the moment, and that can only be good for the fans.
Frank Warren, thank you for having me. Just a final message to the people ahead of Saturday night, the Day of Reckoning, 23rd of December.
Day of Reckoning, Riyadh season. It's going to be something extra special. Tune in. You're going to see some really exciting fights, and I think you're going to see some upsets.
Frank Warren, top man, thank you for speaking to us at Boxing Social.
We need to think of a new advert for freebets.com.
Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.